Hi, my name is Emily Collins, and today I will be talking about elderly vaccinations. So, elderly adults about 65 and up are more susceptible to get infectious diseases. When they get the diseases, it's more difficult for them to get rid of it. This is because their immune systems are weaker. Macrophages are cells that defend the body against foreign invaders, but in the elderly, they don't work as quickly. Another cause of increased susceptibility to get diseases is that there's an impairment of activity as you get older due to age. This is where vaccines come into play. They make antibodies to provide immunity against diseases, so that they're to help you, benefit you. The problem is that people are wondering how effective the vaccines really are for the elderly. They're more effective in younger adults and children. Some vaccines are reported to be 100% effective, like the tetanus shot. However, not all vaccines provide complete protection, like the flu shot. It cuts your risks of getting influenza by about half, and it differs every year because there's a new strain. People also only think children need vaccines, but it's also important for the elderly to get them as well. And some of those reasons are that some vaccines wear off and you may need to get them again. Some of these adults may not have gotten them in the first place and they need to get them now, better late than never. They can prevent chronic disease, enable productivity, it reduces suffering, reduces morbidity, frailty, and overall they're safe and effective. So really the only issue is that in some vaccines they're not 100% effective. And some common vaccines are the influenza vaccine. So that's seasonal, you need to get that yearly. It protects against viruses that are highly contagious. You want to get it yearly because there are new strains of the flu, and so those are developed every year. The once-a-year flu vaccine is a must for older adults. Up to 85% of seasonal flu-related deaths and 70% of seasonal flu-related hospitalizations are for people 65 and up, according to the CDC. The vaccine typically cuts risk by about 40 to 60%. Again, the rates depend on the year. In the 2016-2017 flu season, the shot was only about 42% effective. Some other vaccines are the Tdap, which is for tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis, which is the whooping cough. These are all bacterial diseases, and another vaccine is the TD, which is only tetanus and diphtheria. And you want to get those once every 10 years. Also, there's the herpes zoster, which is the shingle shot. People over 50 should get it. So to be more in depth, it's when the chickenpox virus in adults who have had chickenpox kind of reactivates later on in life. Because of the era they are in, they may not have gotten the vaccine back then, and the condition can often bring blistering and a painful rash. The blisters usually scab over in about 7 to 10 days, but and clear up in like 2 to 4 weeks. But 20 to 25% of people say they still have severe nerve pain. And lastly, the pneumococcal shot protects against pneumonia, blood infections, and meningitis. So you also want to get that at age 65. And by 2050, the population of elderly people should be about 2.1 billion. So that's double the current population of elderly people right now. And some national statistics is that there's only 69% of people who have gotten the influenza vaccine in 2015. The vaccine coverage has increased from 66.9% to 71.1%. And since then, there are more people who get vaccines, but people need to still be more aware. In Oklahoma, the Oklahoma State Department of Health has recorded influenza-associated hospitalizations and deaths. The number of new and previously recorded hospitalizations with testing between September 2017 and July 2018 were about 4,800 people, and since September 2017, there have been a little over 4,800 cumulative hospitalizations and or deaths. And Oklahoma some of their laws are more geared towards vaccinations in children and going to school and having that as a requirement rather than in older adults. And most of the elderly are retired, so the requirements for vaccinations at work or hospitals do not pertain to them as much. But there are some nursing homes that require that you get vaccinations so that you don't spread diseases to other patients or to the workers there. And also in Oklahoma, you can get immunizations at doctor's office, county health department, or other foundations. So there are a lot of programs that can help promote vaccinations and give more information to people. For example, SAGE, the Strategic Advisory Group of Experts, was established by the director of the World Health Organization by 1999 to provide guidance for WHO, which is the World Health Organization. SAGE is the main advisory group to help WHO on global policies and strategies strategies from vaccines, technology, research, and delivery of the immunizations. Also, Medicare and Medicaid do try to provide the immunizations for free for people. However, they can't cover all the vaccines at the ACIP standard. So this can also be a factor to why people don't get vaccines, because if they cost a lot, then people don't want to go get them. Also, the Community Preventative Service Task Force has found ways to improve vaccines with policy changes and have found ways to make vaccines more available without people having to pay a huge amount of money. So that's really helpful. And then sometimes the healthcare facilities that, like nursing homes, like I said earlier, do require you to have your vaccinations. So sometimes that can make people want to go get them. But overall, there are low adult vaccination rates, and this can be due to a limited awareness about vaccinations for the elderly. They may not have the information and knowledge about what the benefits are of getting a vaccine, or the complexities on how the vaccine is paid for by the insurers. So there could be low vaccination rates because of that as well. So basically, we need to raise awareness by making the elderly more knowledgeable, and also making the vaccines more available and less costly. There are resources you can go to. The CDC website is a great place to look for more information. The WHO website is also great as well. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening.